What's up YouTube, Punk Metal Dow here with a video that will probably anger a lot of people. I'll be fair about that and give you a fair warning. If you're a little too easily triggered, you may just want to turn now because this video will be very critical. And it's basically about the problems that I see with parents today. And to be more blunt about what kind of triggered this, it also mainly has to do with the effect that these parents seem to have on YouTube these days. How nobody can really do anything because all these parenting groups, or at least I'm assuming they're parenting groups, correct me if I'm wrong, but all these parenting groups seem to get on here and say that they don't like things, and things all of a sudden become no longer advertiser friendly, and you really have to walk on eggshells when you're on YouTube now, apparently, assuming that you actually want to get money from it. If you're like me and you don't make money from it, you just do this to do this, you're probably at least pretty safe. I imagine YouTube could retaliate against me. People could verbally retaliate against me. It is what it is. But if you're trying to make money off of YouTube anymore, apparently it's just a major pitfall. My first bullet point is, if you're a parent, be a parent. What I mean by that is, we have all these parents that they are supposed to be the moral example for this child, okay? And part of being an adult is admitting when you're wrong. It's admitting when you messed up. So these parents will fail the child and then blame, YouTube for all these things. And it's like, no. Plus, if you're a parent, you need to be watching what your child does. I'm sorry, if you don't want your child doing something, monitor that. Don't expect other people to monitor that. Don't expect YouTube to monitor that. Don't expect, YouTube to help you raise your child. You raise your child. That's it. Another thing is filters on PC and other electronic devices, I believe. You can actually filter what your child is watching. Why aren't you? Why are you going to these companies and saying, Lil Timmy saw a video with blood in it, I'm pissed off? No. You need, again, going to the last point, to be a parent. You need to do your research. You need to do your job. That's the bottom line. The next bullet point is, we live in a very culturally diverse / free country. These people are, who make this content are free to be, and of course there should be certain exceptions. What was it, Logan Paul or Jake Paul? One of them, he did that video in the suicide forest where he showed a dead body. Obviously that's not okay. Obviously that something like that should not be shown. But one thing, as a fan of Mortal Kombat, that really makes me mad is how Mortal Kombat is, anybody who's playing Mortal Kombat, their videos are being demonetized. Excuse me. Even when people have taken steps to kind of, censor the violence a little bit, they're still being demonetized. And these people should have every right in the world to do what they enjoy and, to provide content for other people that enjoy this. And Mortal Kombat is a huge franchise. There's a lot of people that enjoy this. But all of a sudden, just playing Mortal Kombat in general is not advertiser friendly. There's people, they've done combo videos. And yeah, okay, a little bit of blood comes out when you hit the opponent. Whatever. It's probably not much more than the things that you're letting your child watch, on TV when you're not around and you're not monitoring them. Yes, I took a jab at you. No, I don't care. And it's ridiculous. These videos are getting demonetized because, Lil Timmy saw a little bit of blood fly out of somebody when, somebody did a combo video, to help somebody who enjoys the game be a better player. And they should have every right to be able to do that combo video. And, and the people who want to be educated on these video games and to have more fun out of them, to be better at them, to strive for something, even if it is a small goal, like being better at a video game. They should have every right to. But we're censoring all these videos and we're trying to systematically flush it out. And it's just ridiculous. And that kind of leads to my next bullet point. I don't know if your attempts to censor these people are ever truly going to work. The reason being, at one point, Doom intentionally pissed off the SJWs, and I can't remember verbatim what they said. It was something like, they're not called demons, they're called human impaired, and the SJWs got all pissed off, and they started, talking about Doom. It was like the hot topic, like months ago, maybe even a year ago, I don't know. Time flies. But the thing is, it was essentially free advertising. So for a game that they wanted to fail, they definitely got the name out there for free. And probably helped it succeed. Another example, way back in the day, if you're old like like me, I'm 35, you'll appreciate this. ICP, the Insane Clown Posse. A lot of people hated them. They didn't give up. They rode that, and they're still around today, doing what they do. And it was free advertising for them. The news channels are talking about like this big threat to your child's innocence, and people were wondering what this is. So they watched, and they were like, I wonder what kind of music these people do. Or they would even have brief audio clips of what ICP does, and people would be like, yeah, that's kind of cool. And granted, yeah, some people thought it sucked. It happens. But whether ICP meant to get free advertising or not, they did. So you can sit here and try to, make all these things go away, but they won't. And that's exactly my next bullet point. People don't just go away. Again, can't remember the exact timeline. I feel like it was probably about half a year ago. Tumblr decided that they were going to censor porn on their site. And this pissed off a lot of people. Me, I think censorship is stupid, but I wasn't pissed. It's like, okay, there's porn everywhere, who cares? So there's no longer porn on Tumblr. It's kind of dumb, but it's the internet, there's porn everywhere, it is what it is. The funny thing, though, is in its place, all these Tumblr knockoffs just sprang up. It gave rise. So Tumblr was gone, and the funny thing is, Tumblr isn't even fully censored. It's maybe like a quarter censored. But yeah, it gave rise to a whole bunch of other sites. So the people you don't like don't just go away. I'm sorry. And that kind of leads me to another bullet point. You're not teaching respect. You're not teaching tolerance. You're teaching hostility. You're teaching that if I don't like something, I should try to take it down. Well, that's cute and all, but people who aren't like you are going to be learning the same thing. This is the basis of the never-ending hostility that goes on. We attack people who are different, and they defend themselves. It's that fucking simple. I'm sorry, but it is. You people are fucking adults, and you can't fucking understand that. I'm sorry. How ridiculous is that? It's not a complex theory. It's really not. This has been around for years. You attack someone or something that is sentient, and they defend. Simple. And kind of going back to a former bullet point. So, if you're too lazy to be a parent, just keep in mind your child watches what you do. You're teaching them laziness. You're teaching them that other people have to do things for them. If they find out that, rather than, you monitoring them, that you went to YouTube and you complained, and Pepsi got pissed off because Lil Susie, saw blood on a Mortal Kombat video or whatever. You're teaching them to have other people do things for them. you're teaching them, and kind of going back to the bullet point, actually, you're probably just more teaching them the last bullet point, to be fair. That last argument was poorly constructed. I'll take the criticism for that. It's deserved. But, I mean, just be a better example to your children. Don't teach them laziness. Teach them work ethic. Teach them, to go out and do things on their own, but also respect other people. Not to trample other people in their path to obtaining what they want out of this one life that they have. Just reviewing my bullet points, sorry, for 1 second. Basically, the last 2 bullet points I have. So, working in retail, I see a lot of people with their kid in the cart, and their kid is hunched over a phone. One, if you're allowing your child to hunch over, I don't mean to sound... I'm showing my age here. If you're allowing your child to hunch over, you're not correcting their posture, which is going to be really bad for the spine later. Having had to see what's the word I'm looking for, chiropractor, due to extreme, not extreme, but chronic back pain, that could be extreme when it hits. I'm very much aware of what you're allowing your child to be, and I'm sorry, yeah, okay, you have every right, it's your child. Ultimately, you make the last decision. But shouldn't somebody at least try to educate you? Even if it is this, this person droning on for almost 12 minutes now. Also, your electronic device is not a babysitter. I'm sorry. You need to still be monitoring your child. There are parents that do not watch what their child is doing. Ironically enough, at one point, I had a mother lecturing her child to watch where he's going, otherwise she will run into people, as she ran into me. Let that sink in for a second. So, be a good example for your child, if you're going to have one. Set that example. Be the change that you want to see. Don't just, tell them not to run into people as you actively run into somebody. Because your child will watch. And they will have a decision to make. They're either going to decide that mommy or daddy is full of it and kind of a self-righteous hypocrite, or some of them may decide, okay, well, they're not perfect, I get it, whatever. But it's always better if you actually set the example as best you can. My last point, though. So I did say that, maybe YouTube could retaliate against me for this, but for the most part, there's people like me that are essentially untouchable on here. I'm within my right to have an opinion. I did not condone violence. I did not condone anything illegal. In fact, I'm condoning, people to actually think. People to actually be actively involved in their child's life. People to encourage their child to make healthier decisions for, again, not hunching over a phone, and also the eyes. I mean, staring at a screen all day is not good for you. And I mean, these children are just absolutely glued to screens. They're not getting out. They're not getting exercise. And you can't hit me in the wallet. My videos aren't monetized. I'm not that big of a channel. And even if this, even if I was monetized and this video got demonetized, I would still have my job. My job would come first and foremost. I would always maintain my job while doing these videos, because it ultimately is the more steady thing. YouTube is kind of a crapshoot. I mean, it's constantly changing. One day, what I do could be absolutely fine for YouTube. The next day, they're dropping me like a sack of potatoes. So, there's people like me that you can't mess with. Because again, I've done nothing illegal. I've done nothing immoral. I gave an opinion. And even with the state of America as it is, where everybody's like, I'm offended, take that down, rather than walk away and look at more positive things, and rather than go to people that they coalesce with and just leave people alone, you can't really mess with me, because again, you're not going to hit me in the wallet. I've done nothing illegal. I've done nothing immoral. I gave an opinion. And even in the state of America, where opinions are frowned upon, where thought is frowned upon, where criticism is frowned upon, even though it is necessary for all of us, myself included, you can't mess with me. But if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Ring the notification bell. All the typical crap you hear at the end of every YouTube video. If this wasn't your thing, I appreciate you giving me a piece of your time. And regardless of where your life takes you, here's wishing only the very best to you and everybody closest to you. Have a great day, and thank you.